Yeah, Tony, like one of our more popular chat room contributors said, I don't know how I ended up here, but here I am.
Oh, yes, that's right. All right, here we go tonight in the NBA here. The Raptors just had their issues this year. They'll be hosting the Hornets, one of those hot and cold teams, right? You just kind of scratch your head when you see them play. You got the ball in there, and then they just seem to be just one of those teams up and down. Anyway, Raptors here, lane 8, total 229.
Yeah, which Toronto team do you get? I mean, maybe it's not the team we've expected. Certainly, it's 6 games below 500 right now, and maybe not the defense we've expected from Toronto. But in this one, Tony, Charlotte comes in. Just 2 games ago, they played their game of the season when they upset the Milwaukee Bucks. They scored 138 points in that one, and then in typical Charlotte fashion, they fell flat against Indiana on Sunday. They allowed 43 points in the fourth quarter. Those are the Charlotte Hornets that I know. Anyways, this season, I've always been banging on their defense all season long. They don't score that well either, but I think, in games where they can get into a little bit of a score fest, they can put up some points. So, like I said, Toronto's not exactly playing the type of defense we've come to expect from the Raptors, and maybe that's why they are, sub 500 right now. We know Charlotte certainly is sub 500. They've gone over in 14 of their 22 road games this season. These teams will play the first tonight of back to back games, not back to back nights, but they're going to come back on Thursday night here also in Toronto and play each other. So a couple of injuries to look out for Charlotte. Kelly Oubre's out and Hayward is out as well. So for me, Charlotte, they don't guard the forward spot very well. So I've got, Barnes and Siakam probably can come through with strong games here. Siakam certainly is a guy that since coming back from injury, we haven't seen him go off necessarily, but against Charlotte, I think that might be a possibility of having a strong game. Looks like a lot of interest here on the under, but I want to go over in this one. 6 of the last 7 meetings here in Toronto have gone over. I think Anunoby can have an okay game as well. I think Charlotte also can have some strong offensive performances. I think one thing, they do rank pretty low offensively. I mean, they're certainly in the bottom 10, but I think, they can have some production here tonight. Again, probably in the front court, Plumlee, Washington, and McDaniels as well. So for Toronto, also, I think Fred is playing pretty well of late, so Van Vliet can maybe dictate a little bit better of a pace. But again, when you see a Charlotte team now playing their third straight road game and the way they faded against Indiana in that fourth quarter, they scored 32 points themselves in the fourth quarter. It was a 75-point fourth quarter, and that's how these games continue to get away from Charlotte. The lack of defense that has really been their bugaboo. So this total's pretty high, 229, but I have these teams getting into the 230s in this one. I'm going to go over 229 tonight with Charlotte and Toronto, Tony.
All right, Ramon here on Hornets. The Hornets and Raptors over 229 in this one. Of course, looking at the injury report, pretty much clean here for Toronto. That's probably the first time we've seen no injuries here for the Raptors. They've always had a couple guys on there. Hayward, doubtful. Oubre out here for Charlotte. We know Ball is in the lineup. And speaking of defense, defense has kind of been an issue here for the Raptors. If you've seen them here at home, I think they've been really tough to back at home with really poor defense. Overall for the season, they're giving up over 48% shooting at home. That's like a road. I mean, that's a bad road team, right? That they can't just give up. But you're giving up 48% at home. There's some problems there. They've lost 4 of 6 at home. They said 26 in offensive issues. They have their offensive issues here at home, but it's really the defense that's been really bad this year at home here for the Toronto.
I see a lot of discussion today. I like to watch these YouTube shows while I'm working on games and everything. Try not to put too much stock into the talking heads, but they're just like me, right? Analyzing the games and talking about them. And, people want to bang on that Charlotte offense a little bit. But again, in so many games they played without their floor leader, LaMelo, and he does make a huge difference when he's out there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's been proven. The game against Milwaukee, you thought you were looking at a playoff caliber team. Really, Milwaukee wasn't sour in that game necessarily. Charlotte just, played one of their better games to put up nearly 140 against them. That's saying something. But yeah, Toronto, not the Toronto we've expected. And I think people are relying too much on those long term numbers with Charlotte, where they were, certainly almost bottom five in the league in scoring. I mean, look, that's why they have the poor record that they do. They haven't really produced the wins yet with LaMelo in there, but they certainly, I think, are increasing their tempo, increasing their production a little bit offensively with LaMelo in there. So again, could see the same replay as what you saw against Indiana. I know that I think there's a lot of talk about this game possibly staying under because it's a big number and it's Toronto at home. But again, Charlotte gets into a matador defense situation in the fourth quarter, and I just keep ragging on this constantly throughout the first half of the season here with Charlotte and their defensive trends. They are 14-8 to the over, as I said, on the road. So you're obviously going to have a less defensive intensity, I think, on the road. Toronto kind of flatlines it a little bit, but again, when you look at the way the wings are guarded a little bit, so I think that guys like Washington and McDaniels for Charlotte can do some damage, and of course for Toronto, Barnes and Siakam and Anunoby, I think also can have success tonight. I look for most of the production actually to come from the front court. I mentioned Fred. I got the up arrow on Van Vliet also for Toronto. Got more up arrows than down arrows in this game, and that's kind of how I base my totals a little bit. I like to throw out a lot of trends because it's great talking points, but really it comes down to the matchups for me, and I see these front courts kind of dictating tonight offensively.
All right, Ramon here on Hornets Raptors over 229. This one to start here at 7:40 Eastern Time. All right, Ramon, let's take a look over at TonySpeaks.com for today's action. Of course, good results here with NBA. Great results here for 2022 as we got the we're doing some work here on the leaderboards. We'll have give you a little bit more activity here for you guys to check out as we have today. Well, a good NBA card up here on the board. We got a lot of college basketball. Of course, we got the conference teams in action today. What do you have going over at the site?
Yeah, Tony, all about basketball tonight. Got a five game package there you see for $30. Good price there on that 5 game college pack right there. All of them are on the early starts. I plan on maybe coming in with a late package as well. We're gonna go pretty heavy today. I'm kind of on tilt off of yesterday's mediocre performance. So and just like anybody, I'm full of emotion. Sometimes I know I look stoic up here, but probably going to press the gas pedal a little bit tonight in college basketball, especially with conference play. Like you said, Tony, we're starting to get 2, 3, 4 games in conference play, and those conference numbers are so much more significant than the ups and downs, the inconsistencies of non-conference play when you're playing some good teams and some bad teams. That can be the case in conference play too, but the trends are a little bit more steady when it comes to teams you play, twice, sometimes 3 times a year, and now we're into conference play here. So 5 game package right there. Those are all 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific starts for $30. Also in the NBA, got a 3 pack tonight. That might be as far as we go here in the NBA tonight as far as premiums are concerned, but got that 3 pack up there for $30. All of those profit guaranteed, must show a profit or get your credits back to your Tony's account. That can't be said enough here with the way we do things. You'll always have a winning experience with Tony's picks and our premium picks. Remember, if we don't cut a profit on those picks, it's unfortunate. We are disappointed as much as the customer is, but it's not like some of the sites where you just get those picks, and not only have you had a losing day, but you've also paid your tout, if you will, and the picks fall flat. Well, here at Tony's Picks, you get credits right back to your account. Hopefully, you come back strong with me, but I don't mind if you go and pick one of our other handicappers, especially some of our hot handicappers right now. So you get credits back to your account if your premium packages do not cash here at Tony's Picks. These are the ones that have the orange button there, profit guaranteed, and there's a little note there right below it. You see what are profit guaranteed picks, and when you click on that, it explains in perfect detail exactly what this means. Meaning, if it does not turn a profit, really with these type of games, hockey's a little different with the money lines, but still the same criteria, must turn a profit. In the spread sports, usually you're going to see exactly what you would expect. A 3 game package got to go at least 2-1. 5 game package got to go at least 3-2. 7 game package usually still have to go 4-3 there in those as well. So that's what we offer here at Tony'sPicks.com. We want you to have a winning experience. And you look at our cappers doing a pretty good job so far since the turn of the year. Yeah, you guys, made me put those old numbers up, try to get me started here for 2023. But it'll all come around. It always does for me here at Tony's Picks. And congratulations, Tony. Mindy mentioned it on our show. I mean, we know you've been doing this for years. You can go back and search the YouTube and look at young Tony doing his show. But thank you so much. 1 year tomorrow, Tony, with the website. Look how far it's come. It's one of the smoothest multi-handicapper websites. Anybody who's surfed around at our competitors a little bit, maybe their sites are a little clunky. Ours, when you click on those buttons, you get kind of a smooth feel to it, and that's exactly what we want to see. Hats off to our programmers as well and the GM for getting everything started. And I can't think of a better situation to be in here than with you guys at Tony's Picks. So please pick up a 5-pack there in college basketball, 3-pack in the NBA. Looking at the hockey card, but Minnie and I ended up pretty heavy on the hockey card over with our morning steam team, and I think most of my picks might be over there with Mindy on our premium selections over there. We ended up with 5 plays in hockey. So if you missed the show, you don't want to go back and look through the YouTube and pick those up. Mindy and I have a 5-pack of plays in the NHL tonight over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 20% off all of our premium pick packages, including those that we offer for free on the show. But if you're in a hurry, or hey, just do us a solid, pick those up for a pretty cheap price over there at Tony's Picks on our NHL tonight. Not sure I'll get a premium because I really liked all those selections, and maybe we'll stretch it out a little bit, but want to turn it around off of yesterday and that game that didn't turn out to be so fun, Tony, in the end. Unless you back the Georgia Bulldogs, that's fine too, but I think everybody would like to have seen a more competitive game in such a high-profile situation. So, a couple of packages from me tonight.
Made the NBA happy, though. I was wondering about that. They were very happy to see that. Anyway, get on board here with Ramon over at Tony's Picks. You see the plays up there. Tuesday, college basketball, 5-pack up there. Tuesday, NBA 3-pack. And, of course, you may go with the longer-term passes. We said in the previous segment that 7-day pass is a really good value right now. Get all of Ramon's premium plays for 7 days. That includes all his NBA, NHL, college hoops, NFL. Remember NFL? We got NFL games here, playoff games here on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We don't raise the prices because it's NFL playoffs, okay? It's the same price. So get on board there with the 7-day pass right now. From Ramon, use that promo code TonyT at checkout. You'll save 20% off. You can access Ramon's page by clicking the link in the description. Click the All Cappers tab. You'll land right on his page and go ahead and get signed up and get to his 1-day passes, which are profit guarantee, or the longer term passes, which aren't, because there's a little much discounted rate there, and get on board. You can also buy Ramon's place a la carte on the pick ticker with team versus team information. So you choose it, what's best for you. You get on board there and get signed up. All right, Ramon, we also put together a Twitter account for you. Tony's Picks for Ramon, which should be going blue any minute now. That's what I've told you, and Mindy's. And also, you've got that morning steam. Conclude another show for today.
That's a great point. You talk about the pricing too, as well, Tony. You really shouldn't have much of a variance between the regular season and the postseason. If anything, maybe you could step it up. I think everyone kind of does when it comes to those playoffs. Maybe even with their betting units because there is more information available, and that can make a pick a little bit more solid. But really, it shouldn't vary too much. So that's a great point about the pricing as well. Get my pick today in social media tonight. This one will come to you in college basketball. It's in the Mid American Conference between Ball State and Ohio. Follow me at Tony's Picks Ramon to get that selection in the MAC. That one goes off 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific in a closely rated game in that one. So who do I like? Ball State, Ohio? Log on to Twitter. Go to Tony's Picks Ramon and check out and see my selection there. We got selections every day on there on the weekdays, 5 days a week, sometimes on the weekends as well. But with those heavy bet schedules, sometimes a little bit tough to get around to that one. And yeah, Tony, we'll be back with more Morning Steam tomorrow with the crew, with myself and Mindy and everybody in the chat. And they were really making us work today, but I didn't mind at all. We didn't have a huge overwhelming card. So we made some videos on the fly with the games they wanted to hear about. And, I was already ready with my entire handicap, laid out on my sheets here. So, when they come in and ask for some plays on the fly, Mindy and I are ready to give them to them. She's got all her numbers all printed out and ready to go. Maybe less detailed handicap, but certainly I already have my selections and the way I feel about the games going in, just kind of waiting on, line movement and maybe some public percentages, but I'm ready to go with those plays. So when they ask for 2, 3, 4 plays on the fly tonight, we just gave them to them. Why not? That's what we do over there on the show. And Mindy mentioned it. We're getting those, for us, record numbers. We're just really pleased with that, with all the viewership and everything, making us feel like we're doing a good job. And that's what makes us come back every day. When they're already chatting, waiting for us to come on the air, and Mindy and I are scrambling backstage, how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? Anything to talk about, things like that. And the chat's raring to go. They're already talking about who's got Mad Bull's locks and who's got, what information ready to go, and they come in pretty solid with their picks as well. And sometimes I even have trouble keeping up, putting the picks up there. But I think that's part of the fun of it is getting their comments on screen, getting their picks on the record, if you will. I mean, Mindy and I are giving out picks, so is the chat. So that's the fun part of the show. I don't know if anybody's kind of doing it like we are. Everyone, there are a lot of different shows out there right here, mostly on YouTube, and it's a lot of opinions from the experts. But I think we're really might be the only show where we're giving the picks of the audience right there on the screen. So that's a
You gave
concept.
me you gave me a good idea for a night show called Audience Picks.
We might end up with audience picks. We might end up
Just
with
you and
me
Ramon.
on screen. Yeah, we might end up with just me if we can't get any guests.
That's
And
right.
which is
We got to. Well, I'm counting on my GM to get this together. We get some more people here on our for
well,
the for the
teasing
night
you a
show.
little bit, but I know it's a great idea. And again, the way we're building these shows up, the way we're doing it on Tony's Picks, you know, and quite frankly, it's a way to keep everybody involved and coming back to the show. Is getting people involved. One of the most important things anybody wants to hear, is their name called and then have their, picks put on there. I think that's really cool. So they can say, hey, look, I mean, I put my picks on and they were on the air and I went 4-0 or whatever happened on the night. So that's how the show's evolved. Tony, it was your idea to get another show together, and I thought it was just going to be me talking, and look what we've come up with.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
been
cool.
great. It's worked great with the audience. Mad Bull liking the idea, and that's the key. There is just the collective mind power there of with the chat group doing a great job of coming not only with a pick but giving you why they like it in a civil, polite way, friendly manner. It's because you and Mindy set that tone, set the culture here for the show, and you can see it's working out really great here. All right, Ramon, as always, great having you on the show. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
See you then, Tony. Thanks.
Yeah, Ramon.